Hi, this is Philippa6. Sorry I've been late tweeting this up. Basically, I've just been with the Philippa6 and just preparing a few resources. Anyway, I spent about an hour with the boarders today, and we talked some more about perfect competition. If you remember, this is a market structure composed of an infinite number of buyers and sellers who each sell a homogeneous product, so there's no product differentiation. There are zero barriers to entry and no barriers to exit either, so costless entry and costless exit. Um, Firms are assumed to have, and consumers are assumed to have perfect knowledge, so consumers know the prices being charged by all of the firms operating in the market. Similarly, firms know the least cost method of production. They also know the prices being charged for raw materials by all suppliers. And then the final assumption is that we assume that all firms are profit maximisers. So as a result, all firms in perfect competition produce at the output level where marginal cost equals marginal revenue. This, of course, being the rule for profit maximisation. So, the other big issue about perfect competition is the perfectly price elastic marginal revenue and average revenue curve. Why is it price elastic or perfectly price elastic? Well, basically the reason is that each firm in perfect competition is absolutely minute in relation to this ginormous market. So an individual firm could quadruple output and it still won't be enough to shift market supply in any way that would be measurable. Yeah, sure, the market supply curve theoretically would increase, but you're not going to be able to record that increase. It would be like throwing a bucket of water into the sea off Brighton Beach and expecting to be able to record the increase in the sea level. Theoretically, the sea level would rise, but you're not going to measure it. The same in perfect competition. An individual firm might produce more. Um, Theoretically, market supply should increase. It will increase, but it's not going to increase by enough to affect market price. So as a result, firms are assumed to be price takers. They can sell as much as they can at the prevailing market price. So every single unit that they sell is sold at the market price. Average revenue is whatever the market price is. Marginal revenue, the addition to total revenue caused by the sale of an extra unit of output, of course it's the same as the market price because you're selling every single unit for the same price, which is the market price. You can't change market price because you can't change market supply. You're just too small in relation to the overall market. Okay, in the short run, it is possible for a firm in perfect competition to make abnormal profit. Abnormal profit is any profit made above normal. Normal profit is defined as being a situation where it's the minimum profit that firms will accept before they'll quit the industry. Somebody asked a question today. Well, how do you calculate normal profit? Well, I guess that the main point is, or the main principle would be opportunity cost. Um, what else? What other income would the entrepreneur be able to earn if they weren't running this business? That's likely to be the normal profit level. If the profits made from the business was say £20,000 a year, but the entrepreneur could get a job tomorrow with somebody else and receive a salary of £25,000 a year, there's no way that they'd carry on the business even though it was profitable. In this case, the level of normal profit would be £25,000 a year. The opportunity cost of carrying on the business would be the money that you could have earned doing something else. Okay, in the long run though, new firms will be attracted into the market and that abnormal profit will be competed away. So abnormal profits are possible in the short run, but they won't persist in the long run because of no barriers to entry. Similarly, it is possible for firms in perfect competition to make losses in the short run, but not in the long run. Why? Well, again, there's zero exit costs, so firms will just quit the industry. If firms quit, then basically what will happen is that market supply will decrease because you've got literally hundreds of thousands of firms quitting at the same time. That will be enough to decrease market supply, and hence the mRNA R curve will be just shunted upwards, and that will help to restore profitability again. And firms will stop leaving the industry once normal profits have resumed. Okay, the other thing that we did today, we looked at the diagrams in more detail, and we discovered that in perfect competition, the profit maximising output level, that's the output level where MC equals MR, coincides with, first of all, the technical optimum. The technical optimum is the output level where average cost is minimised. It's the bottom of the average cost curve. It's where the MC cuts through the AC. In addition, not only does profit maximisation coincide with productive efficiency, in perfect competition, profit maximisation also coincides with allocative efficiency. If you look at the slides that I sent you on Friday, the PowerPoint presentation, you'll see that from the diagram, that the output level where MC equals MR, I think I've labelled it as Q star, it's also the same output level where price, average revenue, is equal to marginal cost. So you could say that perfect competition is the perfect market structure, because in perfect competition, firms motivated by self-interest that are profit maximising will coincidentally also produce the output level that's allocatively efficient, and that of course again is the output level that equates to the point where price, average revenue, is equal to marginal cost. So finally, I guess the thing to try and remember here is that maybe Adam Smith was referring to this type of economy when he wrote The Wealth of Nations. Adam Smith believed that individuals pursuing self-interest could create a welfare optimum. Society's total utility could be maximised if you had an economy composed of an infinite number of buyers and sellers interacting, consumers trying to maximise their utility, firms trying to maximise their profits. Together, the invisible hand of the market will ensure that consumers get the things that they want at the low prices, basically. And you can maybe see that from the perfectly competitive model. Firms are profit maximising, but it's also creating a situation where allocative efficiency is being achieved. I guess the final thing to notice from the diagram is the profit maximising output level. It's occurring at the technical optimum. So average costs are minimised, and also in the long run only normal profits are being made. So firms in perfect competition offer consumers a very good deal. They get the lowest possible prices. Theoretically, price can't be any lower than in a perfectly competitive market, because we're operating at the bottom of the average cost curve, unit costs are being minimised, and at the same time we're also getting the very lowest profit margin out of the producer. Prices just can't be any lower. The Achilles heel to this idea, the weakness of this idea, is that of course we're ignoring economies of scale, that you might have a market that's dominated by a monopolist who might make abnormal profits, and they're still able to undercut a firm in perfect competition because they can get cost-saving economies of scale that a very small firm in perfect competition could only dream of. Okay, so I'll load it up. I don't think there's anything more that I can say at this point. What we'll do tomorrow is to talk about the next model, the theory of the firm, which is monopoly. Okay, thank you, bye.